Over the past 20 years, Coloradoans have seen many state landmarks tarnished by the distinctive red swaths of red and gray beetle-killed trees. From the vistas of Rocky Mountain National Park to the forests surrounding popular ski resorts like Breckenridge, Beaver Creek, and Vail, these tiny beetles have had a serious impact around the state. In this video, we will explore the causes of the pine beetle epidemic in Colorado. The Rocky Mountain pine beetle and the lodgepole pine are both endemic species to the Rocky Mountain region and have coexisted for thousands of years, with beetles infecting trees in relatively small outbreaks, trees dying and then regrowing. However, recently this cycle has fallen out of balance. In the late 1990s, the pine beetle population exploded from a historic level of 5% infection to nearly 95% over the next 20 years. While nature is resilient, the combination of poor land management tactics, warmer winter weather, and longer droughts created a perfect storm to knock this equilibrium out of balance. Human activity has had a significant hand in driving the pine beetle, starting with the United States' forest management policies dating back to the mid-1900s. Up until the 1970s, the National Forest Service promoted logging, clear-cutting, and replanting. Under the mascot of Smokey the Bear, they aggressively prevented and fought forest fires. Although the service now recognizes the restorative power of forest fires, it has been forced to fight them to prevent loss of life and property. Over time, this has left a uniformly aged and incredibly dense forest for the pine beetle to breed in. Historically, the forest density in many areas hovered around 80 trees per acre. However, forest management policies led to an average 400% increase in tree density, increasing this number to 320 trees per acre. These trees compete for limited resources like soil, nutrients, and water, and are weaker as a result. This has caused the typical forest makeup to change. Forests went from having trees in a diverse age range, a result of random natural occurrence, to a uniformly aged, replanted population, a practical beetle buffet. Climate change is also a contributing factor. Historically, every 5 to 10 years, a sub-40°C freeze occurs in the Colorado high country. If temperatures dip below this level for an adequate amount of time, the vast majority of the pine beetle population is killed, curbing an outbreak. With warming climates, these freezes occur less and less often, removing a check on the pine beetle population. This effectively tips the scales in the beetle's favor and puts pine trees at a comparative disadvantage. In recent years, long droughts and rising temperatures have plagued much of the western United States. These droughts have placed significant stress on the forests throughout Colorado. Droughts weaken trees, making them more susceptible to attack, and longer summers provide more time for beetles to work. Attacks that trees could once successfully repel now lead to infection. Researchers are unsure what will happen to Colorado forests in the future. Beetles have killed practically every tree that they can kill, and the epidemic is on the downturn. But many questions remain. Some worry that these beetles will jump from traditionally susceptible tree species like the ponderosa and lodgepole pine to previously unaffected tree species in new regions, such as the jack pine. The existing dead trees also pose a problem. The dead trees affect snowpack, changing how and when snow melts in the Colorado high country. The dead trees have the potential to impact water quality as they decompose, introducing more organic material and other byproducts into Colorado's waterways. During this process, they also have the potential to alter soil composition, affecting microorganisms and soil chemistry. Old dead trees will eventually fall down, creating a hazard for those enjoying national forests. Only time will tell if Colorado forests are able to fully recover from this epidemic.